Caracas, early morning. The sky starts to glow in a strange way. Explosions in the distance. A metallic sound slicing through the air. Helicopters appear, flying absurdly low. People rush to their windows, start recording. No one understands what's happening. And then, the entire city goes dark. What was happening that night was not a drill. It was the beginning of the end of the Venezuelan government. While millions tried to understand the blackout, a massive operation was already underway. In this video, you'll see a summary of the largest U.S. military action in Latin America in decades. Before dawn, the president of Venezuela would stop being president and become a prisoner. But there's a detail almost no one knows, and it involves China. Hours before the offensive, Maduro had received a special Chinese envoy. The conversation revolved around strategic agreements and billions in debt. While diplomats were still in the country, American forces were already crossing borders in total silence. That raises a dangerous question. Did the U.S. act knowing all of this? At the Pentagon, the mission had a direct and cold name: Operation Absolute Resolution. Nothing symbolic, nothing poetic. It was a message. And what was mobilized for this mission looks like something straight out of a movie. Except it was real. Warships spread across the Caribbean. A nuclear aircraft carrier as a floating base. Stealth fighters invisible to radar. Infiltration helicopters. Elite troops on the ground. Everything happening at the same time, down to the exact second. But there was one weapon that made all of this possible. The F-35, the most advanced aircraft on the planet, designed to simply not exist on enemy radar, since F-16S wouldn't be able to get through without being detected. To Venezuelan air defenses, those jets looked like nothing. But the real danger came even lower. Black Hawks and Chinooks, special variants, flying less than 15 meters above the ground. No lights, only night vision. Pilots from the legendary 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers. And while they flew, someone was already waiting on the ground. Delta Force, the most secretive unit in the U.S. Army. Specialists in capturing high-value targets. They trained for months, with one bizarre detail, an exact replica of Maduro's residence. And they knew exactly where he would be that night. Almost 2 a.m., helicopters crossed the border from Colombia, flying low over the sea and using the terrain as cover. To radar systems, nothing appears. In the sky, stealth fighters clear the path, neutralizing air defenses before anyone even realizes an attack is happening. That's when the operation truly begins. Electronic warfare systems go live. Venezuelan radars go blind. Screens turn to static. At the same time, a cyber attack shuts down Caracas's power grid. But that was just the warm-up. Precision missiles strike air defenses, military bases, and hangars. Equipment like Russian S-300 missiles and extremely expensive radar systems are destroyed in minutes. Everything synchronized. And meanwhile, Maduro was sleeping. Helicopters land at Fort Tiuna. Delta Force rappels down. On the ground, they advance in high-level CQB. The Presidential Guard tries to resist, then backs down. And then, Maduro wakes up. There's no time. Before the door can close, American soldiers are already there. Hands up, immediate surrender. But extraction is still not guaranteed. One helicopter is hit, but keeps flying. Minutes later, the helicopters lift off again. The target leaves Venezuela and lands on a U.S. Navy warship. Maduro woke up as president. Now he is a prisoner. Now comes the heaviest part. Narco-trafficking, international drug trade, armed conspiracy. Prosecutors say Maduro led the cartel of the Suns for decades. And if convicted, he will never see freedom again.